Hello, my friends. Today, the situation on the front line remains extremely difficult. Russian activity shows no signs of slowing, which allows them to continue advancing. Let's start with a brief overview of the current developments at the front line, beginning with the Pokrovsk direction. Here, bad news keep coming daily. Let's begin with the geolocations that have emerged over the past 24 hours, confirming that Russian forces are advancing further. Reports indicate that they have reached the outskirts of Pischane. Additionally, it's reported that they have entered Novovasylivka and even Novoyelyzavetivka. Yesterday, Ukrainian soldiers already began reporting that Russian forces had entered Ukrainka. As we can see, several settlements are now effectively fallen under the control of the Russians, while the Ukrainian side hasn't yet confirmed these changes. Updates on the map will likely appear within a day or two. The situation here continues to worsen daily. Today, Russian forces are pressing forward toward Novovasylivka, breaking through toward the village of Kotlin across the fields, and of course, they are also assaulting Dachinske, Lysivka, Промінь, Миролюбівка, and Vozdvizhenka. Meanwhile, shelling of the frontline territory hasn't ceased. In the Kurakhove direction, the assaults on Petropavlivka, Shevchenko, and Kurakhove persist. Russian forces are advancing from Konstantinopolsk, attacking Constantinople and Rozliv, and continuing their relentless shelling. Um, Geolocations indicate that the section of the highway between the villages of Constantinople and Ulakle is now under Russian fire control. As a result, the main road to Kurakhove is targeted, leaving moving possible only through the fields. So the situation here continues to deteriorate. In the area of Velyka Novosilka, the Russians continue the attacks from Rozliv, assaulting Novy Komar, Velyka Novosilka, and attempting a breakthrough toward Neskuchne. They are also storming Novosilka with shelling persistent. This situation in Velyka Novosilka is catastrophic, despite the fact that Ukrainian forces managed to push the Russians back slightly. Geolocations show that Russian forces using vehicles periodically attempt to encircle the town, while the Ukrainian forces prevent them from establishing control. The very fact that they are able to advance toward encirclement highlights the worsening situation. This area has effectively become a gray zone. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, there is a temporal lull once again, with only shelling being recorded. Previous Russian attacks in this sector haven't yet yielded any successes. In the Kherson direction, the Russians continue the assaults near the Antonivskyi Bridge, attempting to expand their controlled territory. So far, they haven't achieved any new successes, but the attacks persist. Now let's move to the Toretsk direction. Here the Russians are gradually advancing. Recently they captured Zabalka, and just days ago the Terracons also fell under their control. They are now fighting on the outskirts of Toretsk while also attempting to assault Dachinske and Delievka. However, there have been no new gains in the past day and the battles continue. In the Chasiv Yar direction, the Russians are assaulting Pischane and attempting to advance further into the city. The situation remains challenging, but for now, the Ukrainian forces are successfully repelling the attacks, preventing the Russians from moving closer to Konstantinivka. In the Siversk direction, the Russians are attacking Bilohorivka and Grigorivka. However, they haven't achieved any new successes and the front line remains unchanged. In the Lyman direction, Russian forces are once again assaulting Zaporizhzhia, aiming to move directly toward Lyman. However, the Ukrainian forces are holding their defense successfully, and the Russians have made no advances. Additionally, they are attempting to push from the already occupied village of Terny toward Yampolivka, but so far without success. In the Borova direction, the Russians are attacking Lozova as part of the city remains in the gray zone. Fighting is also ongoing in Zeleny High, while further south they are assaulting Druzhilubivka and attempting to advance through the fields from the village of Makiyivka. However, there have been no significant changes here so far. In the Kupiansk direction, the Russians are assaulting Petropavlivka and Kolesnikivka. However, their advances remain stagnant and the activity in this area is relatively low, with only a few assaults recorded per day. In the Kharkiv direction. Besides Havishalen, Russian forces continue the assaults near the village of Alisivka. Recently, they made some advances in this area, which has motivated them to push for further progress. For now, the Ukrainian forces are successfully repelling new attacks, and the front line hasn't shifted in the past day. Similarly, in Vovchansk, Russian attacks continue but are being held off, keeping the front line unchanged. In the Kursk direction, Russian and allied forces counteroffensive continues. Although activity has decreased slightly, no changes in the front line have been recorded and the fighting persists. It seems Putin is eager to clear Russian territory of Ukrainian troops before Trump's inauguration. And that's all from me. So please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.